Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Boston. It is time for the finals. We have reached the end of this long, modern tournament. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Hall of Famer Randy Buehler, and we're underway with what is for sure not to be the last hand disruption spell we see of the finals. For our match is somewhat mirror-ish. They're both based on the same core green and black cards, but they've reached out into different directions. Andrew Boswell reaching into red, and pretty deep into red as well. On his side, playing Jund. Robin Dolar of Slovenia is playing Junk, as we call it. It's going to have a new name soon.
Sure, it has a new name.
It has a new name. I just
don't
know
think
what
either one of us have learned what the wedges are from Khans of Tarkir.
Not yet. But you can see that he's playing white with his black and green spells. He's got a Lingering Soul sitting down there at the bottom. What does this hand look like here? Ooze, Liliana of the Veil, Thoughtseize, Lingering Souls, and 3 lands, I believe. Liliana down. And he did leave Robin with his Thoughtseize, though. So Robin's going to get a chance to look at what Andrew Boswell's working with here. Crack some Mars Flats, and presumably going to go for the Thoughtseize. There's a lot of 2-drops that Andrew Boswell can have that are a big pain for Robin.
Now, do we have to get these basic lands into the conversation? These are, I think, APAC promos.
Oh,
There's some sort of very old judge promo-ish. Maybe the APACs, maybe something along those lines. That is a fairly rare basic swamp he just put into play. I'm
not impressed.
You're not impressed?
No.
Zendikar is fine for you?
No, Beta Lands is where I'm at. I'm on Beta Lands. All right, so Liliana's Veil, Grim Lavamancer Forest, Chandra Pyromaster, and Lightning Bolt. You can see just how red Boswell's build of Jund is here. 3 of his 4 spells here are red. And, of course...
None of his mana, though.
And none of his mana. He's got 2 basic lands.
Yep.
That's pretty rare to see.
Yeah.
Out of this type of deck.
It's tricky to know what to do with the Thoughtseize. Do you assume they're going to get there? I mean, you might just want the Liliana anyway.
That's true. Like, I'm not worried about Chandra.
Lavamancer does some work.
But Lavamancer does work. Bolt, depending on what...
I mean, we just saw Scavenging Oozes, right?
Yes.
What is Robin holding?
He's got a Scavenging Ooze. He's got Lingering Souls.
I mean, if you think he's not going to draw red mana, you can take the only spell he can cast.
And even then, he can't cast that yet either. I guess.
Right.
Assuming he draws any lands, he's going to be able to cast something here. Yeah, I don't think that Robin has enough heat to be able to assume that Andrew's not going to draw red.
Yeah, these games go for a while.
Yeah,
I agree.
He should just take the card that he's most worried about.
Which is what?
Given his hand. I don't know.
Is it Chandra? Does her card advantage kick in? Is it Liliana? I mean, the Lavamancer is decent. Although, I mean, the Ooze kind of can eat the cards first in a weird way.
It is Chandra.
Yeah, Chandra.
Yeah, so that really is an indicator.
Seems like it's
I mean, because that's the least threatening card in the immediate game here.
Right.
But if the game goes long, which clearly Robin is planning on having a game that goes long, this is the most attrition you can get.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, how about Dark Confidant off the top? Good draw phase, Andrew Boswell.
Not bad at all. And there's a Dark Confidant for Robin Dolar, so it's only
Dueling
fair.
top decks. That's funny.
That is
They both lead with Thoughtseize, and...
Just rip the ideal 2-drop.
Yes. They both go lead with Thoughtseize, top deck Dark Confidant.
Now Robin's got to decide between Ooze and Confidant here.
It has to be Confidant, right?
It does feel like that, but he really does seem to be giving it some thought. And it's Dark Confidant.
Now he's saying no red mana, no red mana, no red mana.
All right,
it's not red mana
so far.
Does Boswell also top deck the red mana for Lightning Bolts? Doesn't
he's
look
found an
like
Inquisition. And there's a Thoughtseize, a Scavenging Ooze, and of course that Lingering Souls from before. Guess you just take the Ooze if he doesn't have an answer.
That's my guess, is the Ooze. Although, I mean, there's something to be said for taking Thoughtseize.
For sure.
Defending that Lightning Bolt until you can draw red mana.
Yeah, he still can't
I think he top decked a second Lightning Bolt, by the way. So
Okay.
maybe that makes Thoughtseize less scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes for the ooze.
He's going to offer
Wanna
the trade. Yeah.
I'm up a card. He's content. If you want to play this where I get a free land and you don't, I'm okay. Robin
I like
declines.
that attack. Yeah. Treetop Village hits the battlefield here. Still, unfortunately for Boswell, his entire hand is dead right now.
Yeah.
Can't cast anything.
He's drawing 2 a turn, though.
Won't be long, though.
He's making sure he's got the life totals right.
Right.
Inquisition plus Thoughtseize can get both lightning bolts.
Yes. There's also that Lavamancer's too, right?
Yeah.
It's a much bigger long-term problem than the bolts, but keeping that Dark Confidant alive as long as possible seems to be the name of the game here for Delar. What do you think he would say if I called him Robbie Dollars? Would that be bad?
He'd probably say something in Slovenian.
That I wouldn't understand and wouldn't want to? Yeah,
Exactly.
fair enough. All right, we won't call him Robbie Dollars, but there's Marsh Flats. So mana
I'm not
is
even
looking
sure
just
Slovenian's
fine.
a language. But
Randy. Okay, so there's a white mana source, so he can get that Lingering Souls going. God, Lingering Souls is so good. It's just always good. Is it? Is it ever bad? Like maybe your opponent's playing Storm or combo and they don't
there are plenty of
care?
times when it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen them much this weekend. It just seems very well positioned. And there it is, Lingering Souls.
Doesn't do anything against Splinter Twin.
Mm.
It's only okay against Pod. Doesn't do anything against Storm, but I haven't seen a Storm deck in
No, it's
months.
been a while. It's been a while. Then again, John Finkel hasn't been out at the GPs lately.
Fair.
So. All right, well, there's a mana source.
Doesn't help you against Ad Nauseum.
Yeah, true. There's a Marsh Flats for Andrew Boswell. So, assuming he's got Blood Crypt floating around in that list of his, he can now unlock those Lightning Bolts or the Grim Lavamancer. He knows that Robin has that Inquisition of Kozilek as well, right? That was revealed off the Dark Confidant. So Andrew is going to have to keep that in mind as he plans out what he wants to do for the turn. And wow, looks like he's going on the beatdown path here.
And then land Lightning Bolt.
And then land Bolt? Okay.
Sure.
I like
$1
it.
down to 8.
Now,
That's a
if
nice
that's
line.
the case, do you go land Lavamancer here and just let him have his Dark Confidant?
Let him flip a Liliana or something.
Yeah. That's a free Bolt.
Oh, yeah.
Because Lavamancer is threatening to do a lot of damage on its own.
Wow.
So Boswell taking a nice aggressive line, and it flips a 0. Wow.
And then Liliana was
And
the
then
next card
Liliana.
down.
Jeez.
Yeah, Boswell's holding 2 Lightning Bolts, right? I mean, he's actually
I
got...
think so.
If he gets the chance to tap red lands 3 times, he can just kill him.
Yeah, now Robin does have that Inquisition, so he can take
Yeah.
something away here. He also has the Lingering Souls floating around in his graveyard there. He can flash that back. So he's got to make sure he uses his mana very efficiently. There's little pieces of information floating around about each player's hand that they have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And Delar's got to decide how much faith he has in that Dark Confidant as well. He'll betray you.
Yeah?
He'll do it. Now, a good start here, though, is Inquisition of Kozilek, because that's going to let you know everything that's left. And it is just actually 1 Bolt there.
Oh, it's 1 Bolt.
Yeah, so,
My bad.
yeah, Bolt, Abrupt Decay, and a Liliana of the Veil.
I think the upper left edge of the Lightning Bolt and the Grim Lavamancer tricked me. They have the
Wow,
same,
those are
like,
very similar.
red-black patch.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
takes the Lightning Bolt. That makes sense.
Takes the Bolt. That's going to help protect his life total.
Yeah, the Liliana doesn't do anything through Lingering Souls. This is the other place Lingering Souls is really good, is in this mirror.
Yeah. And Slaughter Pact on the main is going to allow the race potentially to swing back.
And
in
Robin
Robin's
offers the exchange of Dark Confidants.
Yeah, I think he wants his gone. But at the same time, Boswell knows that there's going to be 2 more spirits on the battlefield here by turn's end.
But he wants his Confidant draw.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the reasons to play white in the what used to be called the Jund decks is to have Lingering Souls in the mirror. It's such a grindy trade resources type of matchup. It is absolutely where Lingering Souls is at its best. I mean, you have to think Robin Dolar comes in advantaged in this finals for exactly that reason.
Yeah, they plus Liliana, you get to discard half of a spell. They try to minus Liliana, you get to just sack a spirit. And here comes Treetop Village again, though. And it's going to battle for the full 3, and that's going to drop Dolar down to 5. And nothing left for Andrew Boswell. He did draw a Thoughtseize.
He's all about the Dark Confidant flips.
Yes.
His game plan involves damage from Dark Confidant. 2 cards for 5 damage would be awesome.
Ooh, there's 2 damage.
Yeah.
So we're in bolt range
40% of the way there.
Wow.
And he only gets one. He only gets 1 more draw. Like 1 more draw, 1 more Confidant flip, right?
Yes, and interestingly here,
he left up Tech Edge.
No, he's got Verdant Catacombs. He won't crack it.
Right.
Like he could have cracked it on end step, but he's like, no, that's just way too risky.
Yeah, I mean his own Confidant. He doesn't want to die to his own Confidant.
Right. So Dolar with a couple land that he might not be able to use here. Yes, Stirring Wildwood. And he's going to do some math here.
I think you send just the flyers, right?
He could attack for 6 total.
Boswell's not going to block the Confidant.
No, so...
And you've got to worry about Treetop Village cracking back. I mean, the Treetop is the other important thing here.
Treetop is huge here.
Yeah, Treetop 3-power trample is a big deal.
And remember, a lot of Dolar's mana was tied up paying for that Pact.
Right.
So he's actually, even though 4 lands tapped, that's just playing a Stirring Wildwood and paying for Pact. He hasn't actually played anything this turn. He can attack for 3 with Confidant and a Spirit token, leaving back the full 3.
Yep.
But this allows pretty risky, right?
Well, I mean, he needs to be able to win the game.
Yes.
Everything's risky at this point. And he's basically played it such that if he flips a land for his Dark Confidant on next turn, then he can attack for lethal. Well, just about. No, those spirits aren't going to. He's he's played it such that an all-in attack from Boswell does not kill him, which is tricky. Right. He can't win the game here. He's not going to, try to get Boswell as low as possible and hope for lucky Confidant flip. He's going to say, I may need to triple block Treetop and then take a Confidant hit down to 1, or maybe double block Treetop and throw 1 on the Confidant, so I go down to 2.
Whew, this is going to be close.
Boswell might block.
I mean, doesn't that just completely derail his plan? I guess he still has lightning bolts. Well, his plan is
Treetop Village, except he can Treetop Village will get triple blocked. I'm not sure I like this block.
He does block here.
Yeah, his opponent's on 3 also, so that his opponent could die to his opponent's more likely to die to a Confidant flip than Andrew is.
Yes.
And Treetop's not getting through for damage unless he has a spell that I'm not thinking in terms of. The block seems... He must have a spell. Okay, what spell does he have to cast here? He's end step cracking a fetch land. He
could abrupt decay a spirit token so that the Treetop Village gets to
trample over
the remaining 2. That would change the clock, of course, for Dolar. He's getting a tap land. He could just be thinning out his deck, but at the cost of a very precious life.
Yeah, trading the Confidants. It's interesting there. Yeah, just thinning.
Yeah, he would have been at 4. Can he find a lightning bolt?
Activates Treetop.
Yeah,
I think he found Abrupt Decay.
He does have Abrupt Decay. Which would allow
Robin
him to
has to triple block here.
Yes.
And then he's going to get blown out by Abrupt Decay, but what else are you going to do?
Right.
Okay. Triple block Treetop. Yeah. Dolar saw it coming.
He did.
Decided he had to hope it wasn't there.
So he's going to take
really
one
have another
damage
line.
here and drop down to 2.
Treetop is lethal next turn unless Robin Dolar can do something about it.
Yeah, the Strain Wildwood can hold it at bay.
Oh, right. Strain
It's a
Wildwood.
3/4, yeah.
All the more reason to leave Dolar with a Confidant, right?
I think so.
Your Treetop's not getting it done.
Yeah, I think the Confidant has to jump in front of Stirring Wildwood later down the line if he doesn't flip into death. But only saving the 2 damage, Boswell would be at 4 here. And Robin would have taken potentially more damage from his Confidant. It felt like that was the plan, right? Like,
I thought so.
Strand him with his Confidant.
I mean, the
and
Treetop
hope
was
that
also
kills
doing
him.
good pressure, but it seems
Yeah.
like you could run both.
I think so too. Yeah, that's all part of the same scheme.
Dolar thins, goes down to 1.
I guess he figures the difference between 2 and 1 is
Yeah.
insignificant.
Agreed. I mean, other than Confidant flips is the place it might matter, but
Yeah.
that is no longer an issue.
He knows he's not going to be facing any spirit tokens or anything of the like. I guess a Chandra. There's one in the bin, though.
Was it Maelstrom Pulse? Would have killed him.
It was a pulse?
Yeah.
It would have?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Although he probably wouldn't have thinned and
Yeah, fair. Big crowd around the feature match
yeah.
area over there. Everybody wants to see who's going to be our champion here of one of the biggest GPs we've had in North America.
Robin Dolar is obliged to leave Stirring Wildwood and Activation Mana, or else he'll die to that Treetop. He can attack with the Spirit. That's going to take a while, but he decides to go for Liliana.
Now, that does not leave him with enough mana.
No. What are we missing?
We'll find out soon, I think.
They both discard Thoughtseize.
Oh, it's a Goyf.
Oh, it's a Goyf.
Okay. So
That'll do.
There's your blocker. Now, the
That
downside of
will
the Goyf
do.
is that it does die to Abrupt Decay, where the Wildwood doesn't.
Yes. Lightning
But
Bolt or Abrupt Decay is
this is a
instantly
much
lethal.
more proactive
Terminate,
play.
Maelstrom Pulse.
Oh, he played that land pretty quickly.
Yes,
is this
he did.
Liliana? It is
Yes, it
Liliana,
is.
but that's not going to get rid of the Goyf.
No,
just
it kills the Spirit token.
And the Goyf is how big? Rashad's doing the math. I'm assuming it's bigger than a 3/4, or 3/4 or bigger, I should
Well,
say.
is it a 5, though? Is it lethal in 1 hit?
That could be, too. Are we going to see a chump block from Treetop?
Oh,
wow,
drew another
Goyf
Goyf.
off the top, too. Maelstrom Pulse. If he pulses Liliana, he loses his Liliana.
Yeah, that's not the
I
line.
don't think he really cares about that.
I think you plus Liliana. Clear the last card from Boswell's hand.
And get rid of your own Maelstrom Pulse.
Oh, it is a 5/6, so Treetop has to chump block. This is a really tough game for Andrew Boswell to get out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not have traded Dark
Yeah,
Confidants.
I think you don't trade that. I mean, not to be results-oriented, but I think even at the time we were both a little
Right.
bit like, well, is that how you win this game? I mean, it was close either way. Remember, the Wildwood was already active at that point, too, so Boswell had to be pretty worried.
Yeah, but it would have been 2 flips, and I think that like you were going to get at least 1 flip. Your opponent was going to have to flip at least once. You still have top decks to draw Lightning Bolt. Yeah, he
Yes.
can attack with the Wildwood because the Treetop is obliged to block Tarmogoyf.
That's right.
Now basically Andrew Boswell has to draw Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt, yep.
All right, knock the top of your deck.
All right, here we go. Lightning Bolt or Chandra if he's got an extra copy of Chandra floating around. Although, yeah, he does have the mana for it. Does he draw? No, he finds
Liliana to kill the Tarmogoyf, but now it's the
still not
Wildwood's
good
lethal,
enough.
right?
Yeah. That is, though. Boom! Tarmogoyf. And he's back at 5/6
Whoa.
again.
Oh, no, it dies, and then Wildwood.
And then he dies.
Briefly exciting. Not exciting enough.
And
he's like, what if I
think this is the explanation. Yeah. All right, so Robin Dolar takes the first game in this decisive finals. Wow, that shirt on Robin. Might start calling him Robbie Dollars after all. That is awesome. So you can look at the tail of the tape here. You can see how our players made their way through the field. An Infect Mirror produced one Phil Napoli. A Junk Mirror produced Robin Dolar, who beat Phil to get into the finals here. On the other side, there was an Affinity Mirror that Alex Bertoncini won, but then he lost to Andrew Boswell, who beat Blue Moon in the quarters. And then Boswell beat Bertoncini to make it into the finals. And we've got Jund versus Junk, the grindiest. Fans of attrition, gather around. We've got it all.
So I'm told on Twitter, by the way, that Boswell is a SCG open grinder. Loves playing green, white, aggro, and sneak and show. A couple of top 8s in those events, both Legacy and Standard.
Oh, very cool.
So, been playing a lot of Magic lately.
And he is
on the open circuit now, moved up to the Grand Prix.
Yeah,
sure.
Now he's at the big stage.
And qualified for the Pro Tour. He's got a trip to Honolulu coming. I think Robin Dolar may have already been qualified. I think he may be gold. Not sure. I mean, if he's got 3 GP top 8s in a row,
yeah,
he's got to be pretty close to gold, right?
He's got to be.
Rich would know.
Because that means he would have been at all the Pro Tours, unless he got them all late. I mean, it wasn't necessarily
it's 3
the
in
last
a row,
3
so
GPs, but
wasn't necessarily qualified at the beginning of the season.
It might have, maybe his last 3 GPs, he spread them out over, the last year. Who knows?
This would be a lot easier if I could control F on an iPhone.
BDM kind of knows how, at least on his iPad.
What, to search a web page?
Yeah.
I asked him about that once. I didn't get anything.
I can't remember how to do it either. Rich knows.
Rich probably knows his pro point total off the top of his head. Robin Dolar, 26 pro points coming into this.
Okay.
So he needs 35 for gold. So he's silver.
Yes.
He is silver.
But
he's going to pick up.
Assuming he's queued for Portland.
What does he get for the finals? Is it 8-6?
Yeah, it's 8-6. So he
just clinched gold.
He did.
Yeah. If he finishes second, he gets 6 points. And so that gets him to 32. And then he gets 3 for showing up in Portland.
Wow.
So he needed second place to clinch gold. He's on the train. Congratulations. Gravy train.
And well earned, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're going to have our eye on this guy.
Yeah.
No doubt
he'll get to play
that.
the World Magic Cup, too. I'm sure he'll be the captain for Slovenia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big win. I mean, I'm sure he'd also like to win the GP and get the title and a couple of more points.
We're assuming he's on his way to Portland as well.
He is. Yeah, I confirmed that with Rich.
Do we know if he tests with anybody?
Yeah,
European team?
absolutely. He's with Frank Karsten, the Slovaks, Martin Juza, sort of an Eastern European team that has somehow convinced Frank Karsten that the Netherlands are in Eastern Europe. I don't know quite how that part works, but that's the crew that's been hanging out.
He does hang out with them. Speaking of Magic Pro Tour Magic 2015, be sure to join us next week. We're starting on Friday, and we will continue through the weekend with Standard and Booster Draft. It is going to be one heck of a show, guys. It's the last tournament of the season, and the season was, 14-plus months long. It was a really long season where people were accumulating pro points and trying to get set up for the next year, and this is their last chance. We're going to decide all of the World Magic Cup seats. We're going to decide all of the World Championship seats. We're going to crown a winner of a Pro Tour. We're going to give away a bunch of money. It is going to be a fantastic weekend, and you certainly don't want to miss it. A Player of the Year is up for grabs, and it is one of the best races we've seen. You can see some of the World Championship seats that have been locked in.
Yeah,
Shahar gets to come back.
Definitely one of the big storylines.
Raf gets to come in because France won the World Magic Cup. We've got our PT winners. We've got our Rookie of the Year.
Dizani trying to figure out if he gets 2 or 3 spots. Is that how it works?
Player of the Year. Now this one is, of course, if you notice, it says if the season ended now. It ends next weekend.
Yep. Yeah, Li Shiqian and Nam Seung Wook seem like they're in pretty good shape. Yamamoto is going to have to hold off Shuhei. Shuhei Nakamura is about 4 or 5 points behind him. One good PT finish, and Shuhei can get back to Worlds. William Paulo are in pretty good shape, and I mean, Reed and Owen will definitely get there. Lots of Americans on the at-large list here. We
so
already
here's
know
the list.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Here's the list, which has already changed.
We need to add a name to this.
Well, no, the bubble. Well, we do have to add. I believe Hayne falls off in favor of Jacob Wilson.
Okay.
Because Jacob has a PT top 8, which is the first tiebreaker.
Right.
So on PT top 8s, McLean and Wilson. What does McLean have it? No, he had a top 16. I believe Wilson has the edge there.
Okay,
then it
for
goes
the
to GP
tiebreaker.
top 8s after that. Anyway, yeah, Raptor, Martel, Sam Black, Paul Reitzel are a little bit ahead of the 5-person tie now at 44 points.
And there's people looming right behind, too. Huey's at 43.
Yes, William Jensen is at 43.
Make no mistake. Everybody
fair,
at 44 is looking in the rearview mirror like, uh-oh.
There's a gap after Huey now, because the person at 42 was Jacob Wilson, who's no longer at 42. He's at 44. I don't think there's a 41. I think you have to go back a couple of points.
Okay. That is going to be one of the great storylines of the Pro Tour as well. I cannot wait for next weekend.
Yeah, I'm sad I'm going to miss Sunday. I'll probably be watching, be playing Through the Ages.
I'm sad I'm going to be checking my phone all Sunday to see how you're doing in the World Board Game.
I'm playing a game that takes 4 or 5 hours, so, it'll only be like 2 updates. Heat number 1, and then heat number 2.
Okay. All right, players have their opening hands. Do we have keeps, gentlemen? We do indeed. Raging Ravine kicks things off for Boswell, so no turn 1 disruption play here. Delar has nothing either, though. He plays his Marsh Flats and just ships the turn back. Chandra off the top for Andrew. And he's got a Marsh Flats that he's going to crack here and presumably going to start hitting the hand of Robin Dolar. So Dolar up a game in the finals. Looking to win his first GP, though. This is not his first time in the top 8.
Right, yeah, he had a second at one of the previous ones. It's not even his first time in the finals. 3rd time in the top 8, 2nd time in the finals.
Oh, it's a Tarmogoyf here for Andrew Boswell. It's not that big.
Yet.
Just a 1-2. Dolar has cracked his Marsh Flats and then consulted his hand to see what land he wants to get. He wants to make sure that he doesn't screw this up.
Yeah, Dolar's got to feel pretty good about getting that first game. Like we said, in terms of the asymmetry in this matchup, it's edge Dolar.
Yes.
It feels like Boswell may have let one slip away in the first game.
Yeah, you know, once he activated that treetop and attacked, I really thought okay, he's on the dart, punish you for your
get in what I
confidant.
can and let the confidant do the rest.
But he changed his mind. Really, really tight spot, though, overall.
Yeah, it's all judgment calls. There's not a clear, obvious best play.
Right. Okay. So it was Temple Garden, and there's a Tarmogoyf. Now,
Dark Confidant.
Excuse me, there's a Dark Confidant. Now, right now that actually trades for a Tarmogoyf.
Funny.
Though I think Delar wants to keep it around. This is where you don't want to see Lightning Bolt from Boswell if you're sitting in Dolar's seat, and that's exactly what it is.
Lightning Bolt.
Now Tarmogoyf jumps up 2 more notches thanks to the instant and creature in the yard and hits a lot harder. A 3-4 is a much bigger deal. All right. Wouldn't be a bad time for a Liliana of the Veil. See one in his hand. Taking down a Goyf and leaving yourself with a Planeswalker seems like a pretty sweet deal.
That is what she does.
And there it is. Thanks to the Twilight Mire there, he can make the double black.
Yep.
And there we go. So, Andrew, what are you going to do to fight back? I want to see a Planeswalker fight. I want to see Chandra here. That can actually kill Liliana. I think we're going to see it, Randy. I think Chandra's going to come down here, pick off Liliana, and challenge Robin to come up with something. Double red available.
He's got double everything, right?
He's got it all. Yep.
Double red, double black, double green. That's what he needs.
Totally. Bang. Chandra Pyromaster.
Redirect.
Wow. All right. Planeswalker fight it is. I asked for it and I got it. The last 2 turns, they've both played a Planeswalker, killed a permanent, and then shipped the turn with a an active Planeswalker on an empty board.
I'll just keep the Tarmogoyf counter around just for reference. Kind of like it. It seems relevant. Maybe not.
There's like a goofy draft format that Brian Wong plays where before you play a spell, you always, or no, whenever Tarmogoyf's numbers would change, you must announce it.
Okay.
And if you don't, like, you get punished in some way.
The Tarmogoyf just dies.
No, even if there's no Goyf in the format. You just always have to say when it changed, and if your opponent catches
if there was a Tarmogoyf.
Yes, if there were a Tarmogoyf at
Hilarious.
all times. And if you don't, you get punished.
Are the punishments things like drinking a shot?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes. All right, here's Garruk Wildspeaker. So, wow, I asked for
More
a Planeswalker,
Planeswalkers.
and I got one. Here in Modern, they are alive and well. And we've got Garruk Wildspeaker facing down Chandra. Garrick's mad because Liliana died. You know, they're kind of cursed friends now. So
I don't know if friends is the right word.
they have a loose alliance. It was forced.
They have something in common.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Is it a curse?
Perhaps.
All right. And he's going to make a Beast token.
Okay.
Beast is pretty resilient here. It lets Garruk Wildspeaker live through a Chandra activation, and the Beast really requires a real removal spell to get rid of. So it's very much an attrition play here from Robin. From Robin. And Andrew's now going to activate Chandra for her 0 ability, effectively drawing him a swamp. Ooh, he's got all of his haymakers in hand. He's also got the Olivia Voldaren hanging out there. There's Tarmogoyf, though. Goyf's a 4/5, thanks to Liliana of the Veil being in the yard. See a Dark Confidant there for Robin Dolar, which Chandra's all too eager to take out. And it looks like Robin's happy to get another Beast token here and maybe use up one activation from Chandra to take out Garruk. This is interesting. I mean, this is the name of the game, right, Randy? You want to play the attrition fight. He just got 2 real creatures off of his 1 card.
Yeah, although, I mean, Chandra's pretty good at this attrition fight, too.
Yes.
I mean, Chandra is extra cards, killing planeswalkers. Oh, Tech Edge takes out Raging Ravine. That's the other card Dolar has that Andrew Boswell does not have, is Tectonic Edge.
Interesting. A very proactive Tech Edge there. A lot of times with Raging Ravine, you'll see the players let it just loom and force them to basically use their whole turn to activate a Raging Ravine and then kill it, and it just sort of acts as like this time walk type effect where you get to take a huge tempo hit against your opponent, but he wants to get rid of that second red mana source right now.
He's also trying to pinch the resources so that if Chandra's drawing cards, Andrew can't necessarily cast those cards and cast other things.
Okay. He's going to pick up Chandra Pyromaster and read it. You know, Chandra, I think Willie Adel was the first one that I saw, at least at the Pro Tour, to bring Chandra Pyromaster into Modern. Still hasn't really found like that solid home. It'll pop up in these Jund decks sometimes, but you don't see Chandra that often. So due diligence there from Robin to make sure he knows exactly what's going on. But now Andrew's going to take down Garruk. And Chandra's also up to 6, and there's Olivia Voldaren. So a couple of the innovative cards here for the Jund deck.
Chandra I've been singing the praises of Lingering Souls and claiming Robin Dolar's got the edge in this matchup. But Chandra has done a lot of work.
Yes.
She's killed 2 planeswalkers and counting.
Yes. And still at 6 loyalty.
And Olivia seems relevant.
Yeah, I think the knock against Olivia Voldaren is that she dies to Lightning Bolt, right? But there's no bolts to be seen on the other side, and she's going to demand a real removal spell. Also, doesn't die to Abrupt Decay.
Right.
Goyf. So we have a Goyf on either side now. And it looks like Andrew's going to get to untap with Olivia Voldaren in play as well, which is a big deal. She gets out of hand very quickly, draws another card off of Chandra Pyromaster. It happens to be another land here with Verdant Catacombs. But he's going to get to just, he can just make a huge Olivia Voldaren here.
Yeah, he's also 1 mana away from stealing things.
From
shooting things
shooting
and stealing them.
yeah. And it looks like he's going to go on the installment plan here and maybe shoot Tarmogoyf on end step and then steal it. It becomes a vampiric Tarmogoyf, which is one of the scariest things I can think of offhand. Yeah. So Boswell seems to be in really good shape here with Chandra doing what Chandra does. He's got a Tarmogoyf to protect her, and he's even got pressure in the air with Olivia Voldaren. Now, how many red sources does Boswell have left? Just the one, and then he's got a Verdant Catacombs that presumably can get another. Does that look right to you, Randy?
I think so.
That maybe is a Black Cleave Cliffs on the bottom as well, so maybe he's got an extra. But that could be a constriction for him for how many times he can activate Olivia. But at this point, it feels like he just wants to start stealing things. So interestingly, I don't think that Chandra Pyromaster's ultimate is like super relevant here. You get to exile the top 10 cards of your library, choose an instant or sorcery, and copy it 3 times. Is Lightning Bolt, I guess if you did like 3 Maelstrom Pulses, maybe something could happen, but it just feels like that's not going to be a game winner, and he'd rather just draw extra cards off of Chandra and help her control the board. I'm so used to seeing a Planeswalker start ticking up towards the ultimate and having that be like one of those loosen up your tie.
There have been some pretty good Planeswalkers where you just activate the 0 all the time. I'll leave it at that.
Fair. I remember that one.
I was not talking about Gideon.
Rashad thinks Gideon. He knows. All right, so what's Robin's plan is to ship the turn back. That is not going to get it done. Now Andrew has gotten a second, maybe a third red source, at least a second. If he did, why did he do it untapped then? Oh, did he miscount maybe? Oh, he just wanted to get an extra counter on Olivia. Sure. He was fine with paying 2 damage to get an extra counter.
They're also permanently vampires.
Yeah. He did them both on the Tarmogoyf. But in reality, I think he wanted to make Olivia a 5/5 on end step there. I think that was his primary goal. Draw an extra card. It's another land. He's drawn 3 cards off of Chandra. They've all been lands, but who cares? He could use the mana, in fact. I think he's got an untap. Yeah, he's got a Blood Crypt. And he's going to spend another couple of life so that he can do what we talked about before, where he can activate Olivia Voldaren and then also steal a creature at the same time. Now, he has enough mana to just steal the Tarmogoyf anyway.
Yeah.
But playing that land untapped lets him make Olivia bigger. Wow, Maelstrom Pulse for both beasts.
Wow.
Oh, geez. Doesn't have quite enough mana to finish it.
Wow. Just throwing in a
Never mind. Who needs an extra Tarmogoyf? I'll just kill it, I guess.
It's a tempo play.
It was a tempo play.
It's pretty good tempo because he gets to attack with his Tarmogoyf here.
I mean, can he actually kill him? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then he already activated Chandra, so no.
Tarmogoyf's a 5, maybe? He pings his own Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, he pings his Goyf.
So 6. No, that's
6, 7, 8, 9,
or
10.
Maybe 11? I don't think it's 12.
Yeah. And again, Chandra's already been used this turn. So he doesn't
what's
get
the Tarmogoyf? I don't think it's lethal. Must be lethal. If he's obliged to activate and just shump block with Stirring Wildwood.
He could just be preserving his life total here, too. It's a 5/6, so yeah, not lethal. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It would put him to 1 and dead to Chandra, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
At any rate, way too much pressure there from Andrew Boswell.
Wow.
Took a pretty aggressive line again.
Yeah.
You know, he was in a spot where he could just sort of sit back, start stealing creatures, and win the grinder game, but he just went for the throat there, and it paid off for him.
Nice.
Shut the door on Robin Dolar and
On to
forced
game 3.
a game 3 here.
Exciting.
Excellent. That shirt, it's incredible. Bobby Dollar's just getting there. And a quick review of the opponent's deck list. Perhaps not the most exciting part of a top 8, but it is a necessary thing for the tournament integrity. Sometimes we feature people's deck lists on coverage, or sometimes there's, you know, people that'll be scouting or looking around, and we want to make sure that it's an even playing field there.
Robin trying to decide whether he wants to change anything.
Yeah, this doesn't really seem like one of those matchups where they like jockey for position with their crazy sideboard leveling. It's
Not
sort
really,
of
but it does seem like the kind of matchup that Robin Dolar may not have. Like, how often has he played against Olivia in the mirror?
Sure. Yeah, it's a big deal.
You know, he's like, oh wow, that was really annoying. Maybe I shouldn't be on the whatever Fulminator Mage plan, which is I think no, it's Boswell that has the Fulminator Mages. They both do. I think I did see Dolar take out a Fulminator Mage.
Okay. Seems pretty good in the matchup, especially against Boswell, who's fully in the 3-color camp and running 2 different flavors of mana.
Yeah, but if he lets either Chandra or Olivia get out of control, then
those are
he just
irrelevant
loses.
anyway. Yeah.
It may be that he needs an extra removal spell. I don't know. May also be that he needs a trip to the restroom.
Yes.
That's what that looks like. Empty chair.
So Boswell.
Coverage reporter Josh Bennett back there.
Boswell dives back into that salad.
Sure.
Oh yeah, let's get the overhead shot on this. Let's see. I don't know, Randy. It looks like a mixed green salad to me.
Looks pretty good.
A little bit of cheese on there.
I find myself suddenly hungrier.
Yeah, I am too. Oh, I wouldn't have gone for the blue cheese crumbles though. No, that's.
You don't think?
Not the correct line. No, you want feta.
Disagree.
Oh. Yeah. 2 Magic players, 2 different opinions. I'll tell you.
Imagine that. Lucky we don't have 3 opinions between us.
Hey, in case you've forgotten in the last 8 minutes, we are still holding Magic the Gathering Pro Tour.
So how many of our
M15.
storylines actually changed? Like Jacob Wilson got some huge points.
Yes.
In the at-large spot for Worlds.
He
Jeremy
did.
Tizani did not expand his lead on Reed Duke.
No.
Josh McClain did not get Insta-Platinum.
No.
Robin Dolar got gold, clinched gold. Not Insta-Gold, but clinched it.
Yes. I was following Oscar Jones. He made it to silver, effectively qualifying him for 2 different Pro Tours that he wasn't, including next week. So he's got to get on the phone and get an airplane.
He's got to find a way to Portland now?
Well, he will. His dad is a pilot.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, Nathan Holliday has effectively put himself on the gravy train. By he missed top 8, but the invite to Honolulu means he doesn't have to spend a silver invite on Honolulu, which means he's got, 2 PT invites and a floating silver invite ahead of him.
Doing it the hard way, but he deserves it.
Yeah, but no, I mean that's how you bootstrap your way on. Is you're like, okay, I'm qualified for this one. I got silver. Okay, I qualified for another one. I've got next year's silver invite. He's set up to hit 3 or 4 of them in a row.
Right.
And, any result at this point could get him up toward gold territory.
Yeah, and,
and
that sets him up for
obviously.
next year as well to put himself in position to get gold.
Well, yeah,
right?
he's guaranteed silver for next year, which means he's got the Honolulu invite from today, plus a silver invite, which hopefully he does well at either Portland or Honolulu to pick up another invite. But even if he doesn't, he's got the silver one.
Right. And then those points just start accumulating, and maybe he can set himself up for gold for the following season.
That is the plan.
Garrick's mad. You can see that because after making a couple beasts, he got slapped away by Chandra.
He doesn't hunt beasts anymore.
This one? He hunts planeswalkers
He hunts
now?
planeswalkers now.
But he still makes beasts. They're even worse. They're kind of infected, scarier death touch beasts. I really like that new Planeswalker, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That is a sweet card.
You think we'll see that next weekend? Is it too expensive?
It's too expensive.
I've seen 7-mana Planeswalkers before.
Yeah. They were colorless.
I guess.
I would love to see it. I'm hoping for it. My gut tells me it's too pricey.
Cast an 8-mana Planeswalker at a time or two.
8 mana?
Nicol Bolas?
Oh, yeah.
Nicol Bolas is sweet.
Nicol Bolas is real sweet. I mean, he doesn't have an axe,
Sure.
to be fair, but doesn't need one either.
You don't need an axe if you are a dragon.
Yes. All right, so we're heading into Game 3 here. Players are just about ready to go, and we are going to get a champion.
One
Is
game.
it going to be Andrew Boswell, or is it going to be Robin Dolar of Slovenia? Similar mentality to their deck builds here. Different approach a little bit.
Do we know if
and
Boswell's qualified for Portland?
I don't know.
My guess is no.
My guess is no as well.
Yeah, he gets the Honolulu invite here. Both players mulliganing, looks like.
Yes.
Both players headed down to 6. So he's now invited to Honolulu, but I don't know how much Pro Tour experience he has.
I don't know. And that's better for him, right? Wouldn't you rather be queued for if you didn't have Pro Tour experience or any Pro Tours during the season?
You don't want your first Pro Tour to be on 4 days' notice.
Well, not only that, yeah, that true, but also I just meant from a Pro Point perspective,
Oh,
playing
so the first one
last
next
one.
season?
Yeah, he kind of like, let's just say he puts together a nice little finish there, and maybe convinces himself to join Chris Pikula, who I saw on Twitter say that he's like, I got to get out to some more tournaments, so he was starting to book a few more.
He's got to go find a way to Honolulu now.
Yeah. You know, maybe he gets out to a few more GPs and starts to put some stuff together.
Yeah, Boswell might be a rookie, right? If he's sort of hit the open circuit, started making top 8s there, turned his attention to Grand Prix.
Man, that would be sweet.
Best way to win
now
Rookie of the Year is
rookies
debut at
Rookie
the
is
first one.
when
When is your first Pro Tour?
First Pro Tour appearance.
First Pro Tour. Yeah, like Jared Butcher, I think had like 7 Pro Points last season, but because it was a Grand Prix top 8, but the first Pro Tours he played were this year.
Gotcha.
This season.
Okay, let's take a look at 6 cards for both. At least they're playing fair here. Is anybody going to 5? I believe that Robin's kept. And Andrew's thinking. No,
Oh,
Andrew can't
jeez.
keep. He's got to go to 5 now.
Game 3 of the Grand Prix
Yes.
Finals. He's going down to 5.
He's on the draw, though.
Yeah, and his opponent
So
is on
there's
6.
a little bit of hope there. But, yeah, going down to 5 can be pretty brutal. Now, the good news for Andrew is that he does have cards that can dig him back, like Dark Confidant's one of the easy ones, but even backup plans like Chandra, Pyromaster can help unmulligan him. But in the attrition war,
Right.
you don't want to start out down before it even goes.
Right.
These are also the hands when you start going to 5 cards against these type of decks where the early hand disruption
Yeah,
can
one
be
thought
really
seize
nasty.
takes your spell. And
Yes. Is he going to keep on 5? Yes. Treetop Village to start things off for Robin Dolar. Passes the turn back. Andrew Boswell. Can you preemptively take something out of Robin's hand? No. Marsh Flats, go. 2-drop of choice for Robin. Dark Confidant. Maybe a Tarmogoyf.
It's got to be Bob, right?
It's got to be Bob. Make Boswell have
Exactly.
a bolt. Because if he doesn't, this just gets out of hand.
Still thinking. Or he's deciding what land to get.
Yeah, he's been really careful about that. I like that. Especially since he's playing Tectonic Edge, right? Where, like, you can't just count on getting your mana every time. He's got a Treetop Village, only makes green, so he's got to be careful. Now, he pulled 2 different cards to the front of his deck, sort of almost in review mode here.
Debating.
Yeah, but one of them was Lingering Souls. So he's kind of like maybe reminding himself that he might need white mana down the line.
Sure.
But he also pulled an Overgrown Tomb to the front, and that's what he's going to go with here. He needs black for Dark Confidant, so he couldn't get his Temple Garden here. Sir Robert joins the battlefield, and there's an instant crack, and we're going to see a lot here if he goes and gets a Blood Crypt versus something else. Nope, not a Blood Crypt. Now, Boswell doesn't have anything that matters here. He doesn't have like a Dark Blast or anything like that, right? So okay.
Some of these lists do run Dark Blast.
Yeah. Okay. So
Not
nothing.
his.
He's got his own Dark Confidant, though. All right, Bob fight, but as we've seen many times, the first one to have a Dark Confidant's at a big advantage. And Robin Dolar also has Liliana of the Veil in his hand, too, so he can take care of opposing Bob right away if he wants, assuming that he's got an untapped black mana source here. Is this a Dismember? It is Dismember.
Does he not have the land
He might not.
for Liliana?
Gets in.
Wow, second treetop. Did not have the
Okay.
second black for Liliana.
Okay. That's okay. Dismember still does a fine job, and if he can find that black mana,
Yeah, I mean, Liliana would have been better, but
agree.
Dismember's still good enough.
Is this Liliana? No, it's Fulminator Mage.
Huh.
Oh, but he has to just say go here.
Wow, he could take him out
He
of...
could leave him on mono green.
Yeah, could leave him on mono green. Jeez, that's tempting.
That is very tempting.
He
Like,
just wants to block Dark Confidant. I mean, Robin just won't attack.
I mean, sometimes you have to ratchet it up, right? Like, it's a higher risk line because if Robin just draws out of it, which he very well may with Dark Confidant.
Yeah, but at this point, you have to play to get lucky.
Right.
You're falling so far behind with the Dark Confidant flips.
Exactly.
Kind of have to play to get lucky, I think. Tech Edge.
Another non-black and
Yep.
also non-white mana source here. He's got plenty of green. This is interesting if you're into Andrew Boswell. See, I mean, if I see him play a Tech Edge here, I'm really tempted now.
He may also be thinking about blowing up the treetop villages because they're going to hit kind of hard.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Like Dolar can just smash with treetop here. I don't know, though. I'd certainly be looking to keep him off black mana.
Yeah, you untap, you draw a Liliana, maybe you draw a Lightning Bolt, you take out Dark Confidant, and you can start getting back in this game. Is this Abrupt Decay? It's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, Fulminator Mage obviously gets sacked as response. It does clear a path for Dark Confidant, but is that really the plan? I mean, attacking with Treetop will also probably force a Fulminator Mage sack. All right, Scavenging Ooze.
One creature in a graveyard, so a little bit of food hanging around. Unfortunately, not two, which is a pretty important distinction when your opponent's playing Lightning Bolt. Is he going to pull the trigger on this Abrupt Decay? This gives the Scavenging Ooze more food for down the line, and he does.
He does.
And he's going to take out his black mana source now. Dark Confidant hits the red zone. And what does Andrew have? This is a big turn for Andrew. He's got a Liliana, but what else? Thrun.
Run.
Wow.
Wow.
So Liliana, if this is a black mana source here, Robin can use this window to get rid of Thrun.
No, he's down to one black. He doesn't have any black in play.
Oh, right, of course he doesn't.
Yeah,
he got that
Fulminator
one
Mage
taken
blew
out.
up the only black source.
Wow. So Thrun's going to be a mighty stop sign here.
I mean, Scavenging Ooze can win a fight against it.
Yes, or at least he can threaten it right now and attack
Right.
with
There's
his
no
ooze.
regeneration mana.
Right, so he can get through with the ooze for either 2, 3, or 4, however he decides.
And that is the plan.
Yeah, Boswell doesn't really have a choice. He has to take this here.
Eats one creature.
is
Land for the
Thrun.
turn was Tech Edge number 2.
Okay, wow. So
Still
Robin
no black
Dolar
mana.
just on a very weird draw mana-wise here, but not able to, but still able to leverage his position as Andrew had mulliganed down to 5, and he looks like he's going to go for a pretty aggro Tech Edge here.
I mean, what else is he going to do with him?
Right, take something out. He's trying to decide what color. Right now, Boswell has a basic forest, so taking him off of regeneration mana down the line isn't really an option.
Yeah, but what this does, though, is it makes it painful to leave up regeneration mana.
Oh, even worse.
By pinching
yeah.
the other lands. I mean, the only way that Boswell can hold off the Scavenging Ooze is to leave up regeneration mana, and Tech Edge just makes that more painful. Means he's down to 1, maybe 2 mana to cast spells with.
Interesting stuff here in the finals. We're in the 3rd game. Whoever wins this game is our champion here in Boston. And we've got a real nail-biter here. Robin feels like he's ahead. He feels like he's been ahead at every step, but Andrew has been fighting back. Finds some Marsh Flats.
There is a creature for the Scavenging Ooze to eat or no?
I think he ate both of them.
Yeah, okay. So 4/4's as big as it gets. He can't win a
Currently.
fight with Thrun.
All right, Abrupt Decay is not doing anything currently. And a second copy of Scavenging Ooze there for Robin Dolar is his other drawn card for the turn. He's got another Dark Confidant that he can't cast. He's got a Slaughter Pack that he can't pay for. He's got Abrupt Decay that he can't cast.
Wow.
I mean, his hand is like 1 or 2 cards. He's got a Lingering Souls that he can't cast or Flashback.
It's not a
So
good
I
hand.
think his hand is Scavenging Ooze.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. Because otherwise, it's packed Abrupt Decay, Liliana,
Crazy.
Lingering Souls.
Robin does not play the Scavenging Ooze. Maybe worried about Maelstrom Pulse. I don't know what he's leaving mana up for. I mean, it doesn't want... He's got Treetop Village mana up, which doesn't seem super relevant.
Doesn't seem super relevant. He could use his Tectonic Edge, leaving him with just 2 lands left.
Right. Which isn't insane. He's just say hold. Yeah, he's going to use the Tech Edge.
Take out a Blood Crypt. And just further crimp
Yeah.
Andrew Boswell's mana. So
That is
I
the
guess the
plan.
plan here is I'm going to ride my Dark Confidant and just outland you, basically. Now,
Yeah.
we do have to look at Dolar's life total, though. It's at 9.
Yeah, but Dark Confidant's plan. His plan for Dark Confidant is to flip over black lands,
Uh-huh.
so they don't do any damage to him.
Sure.
Obviously, being a little sarcastic.
Sure. This is going to get very interesting. And remember, Andrew's the one with red. He can draw lightning bolts that can shorten that clock dramatically. He just wants to leave Thrun back to stop taking damage.
At some point, he can start attacking with Thrun too. It's not like Robin has a good block.
That's a good point.
I think he just feels like if the board stays stalemated, he wins because of the Dark Confidant.
And the Ooze is going to start eating things to maybe shrink potential future Tarmogoyfs? I'm not really sure.
I believe that's what's going on, yeah.
Okay. And there's a Thoughtseize off the top, which really isn't what Robin wants to see. I don't think he can even, I mean, well, he definitely can't cast it, but I don't think he wants to anyway.
Was the second draw a Tarmogoyf?
Yes. Wow, that's pretty nice.
Yep.
Wow, Goyf is pretty nice rip there.
I mean, Thrun still blocks it.
It does. Yeah, you're right, and he doesn't really have any way to push through for the rest currently, so... I mean, I'm just thinking it's great because it's one of the only spells in his deck he can cast. And I think the Tarmogoyf's just a 2/3. It's instant land. And add another land to the mix. So Andrew has hit his mana.
Despite the 2 Tech Edges.
Yeah. That's untapped?
We'll see. I think it is.
If it's untapped, he's got plans for this turn.
Yep.
Yes. Goyf.
Tarmogoyf of his own.
All right, he's played it untapped so that he
mana.
can leave up the regeneration mana on Thrun. Make sure he leaves the forest up so that it doesn't get destroyed. And there is a black-white land off the top and another Tectonic Edge now for Robin. So Godless Shrine, is that just what the doctor ordered? I mean, it does open up Lingering Souls for him on both sides of it. he can use Abrupt Decay now, but he would have to take 2 damage to do anything this turn, and his Dark Confidant is still kind of giving him the shifty look there, like, don't trust me too much. What a great game. Remember, Andrew Boswell mulliganed to 5 this game.
Robin Dolar mulligan to 6.
Yes. Boswell
Untapped.
was on the draw. It is untapped, so falls down to 6 life. He's got things to do. Is this just a Lingering Souls turn here?
That's my current guess.
I mean, that's pressure that Andrew Boswell does not have an answer for currently.
He could also Abrupt Decay the Tarmogoyf, but I think I like Lingering Souls better.
Yeah, if he Abrupt Decays the Goyf, then he's sort of pricing himself into some type of attack here.
Right. I'd rather play the Lingering Souls and then attack next turn.
Right. Right now, the Goyfs bounce off each other anyway. He's got to do something with some punch, though. Like that Dark Confidant will kill him eventually, so he needs to make sure that he can get that last 7 from Andrew
Or
Boswell
send it on
down.
a suicide mission.
Yeah, and this is something that this was imminent, right? Like this was going to happen sooner than later.
This Andrew has to block. He can't afford to take damage.
Not unless he has a lightning bolt in his hand or something like that. You know, where he's got like a clear-cut line where he can say, okay, Robin, flip a 3 for me one time, buddy, and finish you off. But if he doesn't, I think he's just got to block it.
I would block.
It's interesting that Robin played that land first.
Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to say.
Yeah, I mean, knocked himself down to 6 and showed him that he's got black or white mana available.
Yeah. Andrew blocks.
Got to do it.
And now here's Lingering Souls.
Okay. So what is Andrew's line here now?
Yeah, there's no longer a Dark Confidant, so he's going to have to actually get through for damage, whether it's with lightning bolts or creatures.
Yeah, I think Goyf just got a little bigger.
Yeah, he's going to die in a couple of turns, right? He takes 2 and then 4 in the air, in theory.
Yep.
That sounds painful.
That's most of his life. So, yeah, Andrew's going to have to find a way to start battling here. And it's going to be really tough. If Robin gets to untap, he's now got more food for the Scavenging Ooze to make it bigger than Thrun, which is a huge difference. What do you got, Andrew? He's got a Scavenging Ooze of his own. And I think that he can take the risk here on Thrun, as if he doesn't, he's going to let the Scavenging Ooze get bigger anyway.
Eats the Lingering Souls?
Oh, that's interesting. So he has to choose now between Dark Confidant, which is basically taking the food away from the opposing Scavenging Ooze, because once it gets to 5/5, then Thrun's less important.
Or playing something underneath.
Or play a Tarmogoyf.
Oh, wow, another Tarmogoyf.
So he's trying to set up for a future attack here.
Is he out of cards?
No, I don't think he is.
His hands are full.
I could be wrong. You're right. His hands are full, and I thought he had something else.
See the difference that Dark Confidant has made in this game.
Yeah, I don't see any cards over there
I think
now.
Andrew's out of stuff, and Robin is full.
Yep. Even being crimped on mana, he's now going to see that unfold a bit for him. No green mana up for Boswell. So if Robin wants to eat Dark Confidant there from his graveyard, he's going to need to do it. If he wants to do it safely, he's going to need to do it now. Remember, Robin only has 3 lands. He's drawn more. He's used two Tectonic Edges this game, but he's got, what, 8 cards in hand? They're all spells?
No, he's got 1 land.
He's got 1 land? Okay, so he's got 1 land.
They also have Tech Edge number 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Flyover for 2 seems correct.
Liliana of the Veil is an interesting one. A lot of good,
All
targets
4 of
over
Boswell's
there.
creatures are decent, so.
Yes. He could play Liliana and eat his Dark Confidant with Scavenging Ooze. That's 1 line he can take. He's got so many options with that hand.
Flashing back Lingering Souls is pretty good.
Yes. He can flashback Lingering Souls,
especially
and play
before
Abrupt
the Ooze
Decay.
can eat it. the fetch land. Probably wants a basic here. Yeah.
Robin's down to 5. Looks like he's going to go for Abrupt Decay here. Take out Scavenging Ooze.
Okay. Effectively defends the food that's in his graveyard and defends the Lingering Souls.
Yes, and also keeps his own Scavenging Ooze well fed. And here's Lingering Souls on the flashback. So 2 creatures in the graveyard as well, though. And both players at 5 life. So what can Andrew find off the top of his deck to help him get out of this situation? He's got some pretty big haymakers in this deck. He's got Chandra Pyromancer. He's got Olivia Voldaren.
He's got Lightning Bolt followed by Lightning Bolt.
Yes. Unfortunately for him, though, that Dark Confidant that was on the table for so long, and combined with some mana issues there for Robin, has left him with like 6 cards in hand to Andrew's.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the Confidant draws, Dolan would still be color screwed.
Yeah. Boswell checks that card again.
What did he draw?
Is it Decay? Yeah, it is. Abrupt Decay on a Tarmogoyf. Now, does that let him attack with his Goyfs?
Probably.
He's facing down a 4/4.
So all of his creatures beat up Ooze in a fight.
Yes.
Tarmogoyfs are 4s, right? Not 5s?
Looks like they're 4/5s.
So they're not lethal.
Correct.
Seems like he can attack with 2 creatures. Leave Thrun on defense to block the Ooze.
And force at least 1 block of some type.
I'm not sure. Only attacking with 1 Tarmogoyf. What's the point of leaving the other Tarmogoyf on defense?
I don't know.
Seems like you need to attack with 2 Tarmogoyfs.
Oh, there's a Treetop Village.
Oh, you have to block Treetop Village.
Yeah,
That's
I gotta block TTV.
Check. There you go. Not dying. That's the point of leaving the second Tarmogoyf on defense. Yeah.
Now, if Goyf's really a 4/5, then he can actually take it if he wants.
It's risky, but he could.
It is. Doesn't change the clock, though.
Instant land.
Is there anything? Oh, it's a 3/4. That makes more sense. All right, here comes Treetop Village with some Spirit Friends. Ooh, Slaughter Pact on the Goyf, though.
Does that do it?
I think this does it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's enough, and we have our champion. Robin Dolar from Slovenia wins it. You see his buddy jump in and give him a hug. Wow.
Robin Dolar.
Great match at the end there, too.
2 Grand Prix top 8s in Europe. Stops at this one on the way to the Pro Tour. Wins it.
And just binks the thing.
On to the gravy train with gold status.
You can take a look at how he got